Hey everyone, welcome back to a new video. My name is Tech Alberto, and today we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch 2 and how Nintendo could potentially flop this system and how we could potentially have another Wii U situation. And that's actually going to be the first topic of this video. Also, my voice is still in absolute pain. I'm actually recording this on the same day I just did the Wii tutorial that I did yesterday. Or that was uploaded yesterday. You'll be seeing this in the future. So yeah, it all kind of works out. But anyway, yeah, so we're going to dive straight in. The Nintendo Switch 2 does look like a very promising system. I do like the overall design. I like the fact that they've gone with the neon design for the little rings on the joysticks, and also the fact that they're going for the more kind of sleek look with the black console and the black controllers. Or is it black or is it grey? I really couldn't tell by the trailer, but my whole idea was that Nintendo are going to be doing something quite different this generation, where I have a feeling that they're going to try and go with like a new marketing strategy, and they're going to be releasing more. So they're going to be focusing quite a bit more on like third-party releases. I'm not 100% convinced by this. I do believe that they're still going to be focusing heavily on the first-party stuff, but I'm very unsure for now. So, but this is just what I've read online and what I've read on Twitter and everything, and also, you know, from like a lot of these like supposed leaks in quotations. Leaks. Just a quick side note: leaks are very possibly bullshit a lot of the time, and you do have to be very careful with what you read. So I've watched a lot of videos. You watch a lot of these like YouTubers. I won't say any names because I don't like doing that. But a lot of these YouTubers will go out there and they will just state like, oh yeah, so you've got this brand new Nintendo Switch 2 game which has already been confirmed, and it's like, yeah, okay, we've had one game that's confirmed, but like, let's not like start saying, oh, every single fucking game is confirmed now, because it's not. It's like not every single game is yet to be confirmed about the hang on, I am messing up my words on the Switch 2. So I don't believe everything that you read is true when it comes to the Switch 2, especially game releases. So what I want to see is Nintendo try and do the right thing with the marketing strategy, and this is actually leading me on to my next point. So Nintendo's flop with the Wii U was the awful marketing when it came to being like, hey, so this is the follow-up to the Wii, but there's a U on it and it has a gamepad. And everyone was like, oh, cool, it's like something you could buy for the Wii. And then they were like, oh, wait, why is it $300 or £250? And everyone was like, okay, yeah, we're not buying this. So they didn't buy it, which is totally understandable. It's totally reasonable. And my problem with what Nintendo's doing now with the Switch 2 is I feel like we could very possibly have a repeat of this, and Nintendo could potentially see a decline in sales with the whole Switch brand. Because what they're going to do is they're going to be like, hey, look, here's the Switch 2, and it does everything that the Switch 1 does, but significantly better. This was the problem the Wii U had. Nintendo need to do something different to sell this system. They need to sell it in a way which works and which it can appeal to the average consumer, because most Nintendo fans, like myself and a lot of the other YouTubers you watch, like Nathaniel Bandy, I'm guessing like Scott the Woz, Nintendo, etc. Those are just random examples, by the way. They're going to be picking up the system day one. I, for one, will also be doing that, but the average consumer is not going to be doing that. The average consumer is going to look at this and be like, hey, look, last holiday season 2024, I bought my kid this Nintendo Switch system, and the 2 is coming out. They're not going to be buying the 2 over Christmas. It's not going to happen, because they've just spent about pretty a whopping 200-300 quid on that Nintendo Switch plus games the previous holiday season. It just doesn't make sense. So I don't believe this system's going to pick up very quickly, even if it does all right in the market. But I don't think it's going to do insanely well either, unless Nintendo market it correctly. Now, good examples of good marketing from Nintendo would be the original Switch commercial, where they show people using it in multiple different situations and making new uses of it. And then also, you know, going and playing in different locations. And it was really sold as that system where you could take it anywhere and you could play wherever you wanted. So I always really liked that about the Switch, that this idea was kind of ingrained into people that, okay, look, here's the Switch, take it wherever you want and play it wherever you want, wherever you feel most comfortable, wherever you feel most kind of at home with the system, I suppose. And I really like that Nintendo were kind of selling that to me, and they sold it to me because I got the Switch very early on in its life, so only about 5 days after release, actually. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, marketing's a big thing, and it's one thing Nintendo need to be very careful of. And another point I did have written down, which is going to be very short, is that the Switch 1 is very high in recognition still. And that's what Nintendo are still selling a lot of, is the original Switch system. Well, not the original, I think it's mainly the Nintendo Switch OLED now, but they are still selling the, I believe it's the new battery life version, so possibly, yeah, it's still pretty much the original system. But I think the problem is that Nintendo are going to have to start selling people on this new one after the original Switch, and because it uses the same, like, similar branding and stuff, it's again tying in with marketing, where Nintendo have now got to sell this whole new product to people which uses similar branding and it looks like more or less the same but with different colors, and they're missing that kind of curve, and it has a new kickstand. But the average consumer doesn't care about that, and this is just what I said. Like what I said a couple seconds ago is the average consumer has a Switch. Why should they buy the Switch 2? And it's so high in recognition to the point where people are just going to stick with that system. A lot of people have this huge idea that Nintendo are going to be going all out with the, what do you call it, like the kind of Xbox style stuff on this system. I believe it's possible, by all means. I think it could very well happen, but at the same time, I have a strong kind of feeling that what they're going to do is they're going to release this, and it's going to just kind of be bare bones, kind of like how the Switch was with the UI and the home menu and stuff like that. So I feel this is going to go on to my last point, so I'm going to do that before I do the one before the last one. This is about the operating system and the features it has. So if you guys remember, which you probably will, the Nintendo Switch 1, or the Nintendo Switch, as it's more or less known as, is kind of more or less quite boring with its choice of user interface, home menu, the kind of appeal of the front page of the system. And that's kind of what used to hype me up for games. Was I would go on my Nintendo Wii U or my Wii, I'd have this cool UI, and there'd be music, there'd be like things moving around, there'd be sound, it'd be like, oh, here's all these cool apps I could play, which are all quite gimmicky, but they're all quite cool. And I like that Nintendo did that. It had a Nintendo charm to it, and I think they need to bring that back. I think it's very important, but at the same time, they didn't do that. They didn't do that with the Switch, so it depends if they still have it in them to do it again, and I believe they could. So getting more onto my point about the operating system, I don't think it was that good. I think it was just boring. I think it was bland, and to the average proper Nintendo consumer, or the sort of like a mega fan like myself, yeah, the Nintendo Switch, it was too plain. And I, from day one, was quite confused when I just saw black and white as themes. I was like, where's all like the Pokemon stuff, the Mario and stuff like that? And you can hack themes on there, so you can make a custom background, you can upload all that stuff, but you have to hack your system, and of course Nintendo aren't a very big fan of that, and you can actually risk getting banned. So I wouldn't advise it remotely. So yeah, not the best thing to be doing, but I feel like Nintendo really missed a big opportunity with that, and they could have definitely sold to a lot more of their fan base. And I personally felt kind of a bit offended that they didn't do that, and it sounds like kind of weird, but I was very happy when Nintendo was still doing the whole kind of thing with the 3DS, where like the 3DS prior to the updates and everything, it had a home screen which was just a generic like white one, it still had the sort of animations for all the icons and stuff, but then Nintendo started to add custom home themes, and that's something they did with the 3DS, so why couldn't they do it with the Switch? And that's something I felt like they missed out on. It was a huge opportunity which they could have easily made money on as well, because I would have bought themes. I think the majority of people would as well. Last thing I wanted to talk about, which is why the Switch 2 could possibly run into problems, is that they release a load of ports, a load of games from third-party systems and other from developers which have already been like played and enjoyed, and even themselves, and they just lack new games. They have a lot lined up at the moment. So you've got Pokemon ZA, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, you have a new Mario Kart, you've got Mario Kart 9 coming out, and these games look awesome. These games look really good. And I look forward to playing these when they release. However, I have the major problem that Nintendo is releasing these new games and they're just not gonna be enough for the system, because I think, yeah, it's great to be excited for like new titles and all, but it's just whether Nintendo will release a good enough quantity throughout the Nintendo Switch 2's life, and whether these games are actually enhancing my overall experience. So for example, right, it's like my whole thing with the Switch was I've played most of the games I play, I will play completely, and I will have to complete them. I will play everything about them. So I'm not spending 50 quid just to play it for 2 minutes and then never touch it again, right? So yeah, you get the gist. But my whole thing is that I want Nintendo to release this system, and I want them to take pride in doing it. Then what I want them to do is release a variety of games and develop these games in a way that people enjoy them. I think New Horizons, for example, I think that's actually the best-selling Animal Crossing game of all time. That game was incredible to the people they were trying to sell it to, but I think Nintendo fans who... I understand selling to the wider consumer base, by the way. I totally get it. I understand they need to make money. They want to make as much profit as they can. It's how companies work, and, you know, it's called capitalism. It makes sense at the end of the day. Companies have to do it. But my problem with Nintendo trying to take some of these approaches sometimes is that they also forget about their core fans and people who were very nostalgic for Animal Crossing. And I really felt that with New Horizons, because New Horizons really felt like a new game. It did not feel like it gave a lot of kind of respect back to like New Leaf and these old games. I'll be honest, I'll just be straight, I wasn't a fan of it. I really want Nintendo to go back to their roots with a lot of their games this time round. And I really feel like they could do it. So for example, go back to their roots with Animal Crossing, with Mario Kart, I think they're also doing it as well. Do it with, even, I know it's not particularly Nintendo, it's a Pokemon company, but Pokemon as well. You know, start selling us games which we will remember as new experiences, but also bring us back to a time which was a lot more simpler. And I really want Nintendo to do that, and not just sell us a bunch of ports of games. And it is nice. I like the idea of having ports on the Switch, for example, having like Wii U games, like having ports of a lot of the Wii U games that I played. I got to play some that I didn't play before, and I thought they were spectacular and just overall excellent. But my problem was that Nintendo was selling me games constantly which I could go and play on like my computer, for example, at a way higher frame rate, and they were just releasing games on this outdated piece of hardware which I could play elsewhere and have a way better experience with. And it's the same with, like, you know, a lot of the games that they were releasing from the Wii U onwards that didn't have many updates. It's like U Deluxe. U Deluxe was sold for 50 quid and had like maybe I think it was like 2 characters added, like Toadette and someone else. I can't remember who it was, one of the other Toads. And it just wasn't worth 50 quid. So, you know, I played Super Mario Bros. U on a Wii U that I bought ages ago, and I had a great experience with it. So, yeah, I very much enjoyed it. But anyway, guys, yeah, that's my kind of open discussion. I don't know if I should do more of these kind of videos, because I'm not a very good talker and someone who's very good at staying on topic when it comes to this sort of stuff, but I do kind of want to experiment with it more and make more of these kind of videos. I'm not the best speaker overall as well. That's kind of why I stick to tutorials. But yeah, anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to leave a like and also subscribe as well, because I will be making a few more of these if this is enjoyed. But yeah, I'll be hopefully back within the next couple of days. Got some tutorials on the way at the moment. I've also got some more of these Switch 2 videos, and I also kind of want to cover the event that's going on. If we get in, I'm going to have to make some kind of video on that. So yeah, anyway, have a good one, guys. Take care and peace out. Bye-bye.